People always ask me, how do I get a girl? How do I get money? How do I become successful? They ask me all of these questions, and I always give them the same exact answer: confidence. You need confidence no matter what you do in your life. If you want to get into a relationship, you need to have confidence. If you want to maintain a relationship, you need to have confidence. If you want to make friends, you need to have confidence. If you want to find your purpose and get on your purpose to your fullest capacity, you need to have confidence. You need confidence in your life, not just for the sake of accomplishments, but also for the sake of your own well-being. If you're not confident in yourself, who will be? Who's going to be confident in you for you? People are drawn to confidence naturally. It's a biological thing. You can't get around that. That's why people watch my channel. That's why I've been able to develop a following. And it creates a positive feedback loop where the more confident I become, the more people follow me. And people feed into this confidence. And that just gives me more confidence and more people follow me. And it works the same way with any avenue in life. Anything that you choose to do in your life, confidence will allow you to do that thing to the best of your ability. And it will create a positive feedback loop, but it starts with you. Now, I've spent a lot of time in my life analyzing successful people, people who are in positions that I want to be in. And the one common denominator that I always found was confidence. So really, I wasn't studying successful people, I was studying confident people. And these are some of the traits that I've picked up, some of the traits that I've observed in those people throughout my research. Now, the first thing that all confident people do is they love themselves. You cannot be confident in yourself if you don't love yourself. Now, I understand that there's the whole idea of faking it until you make it. But when you fake it until you make it, that is fake confidence. It may work in the short term, and it's definitely a good way to initiate that process, but at the end of the day, you need authentic confidence. And that can only come from one place and one place only, and that is self-love. You have to love yourself thoroughly, deeply. If you don't love yourself, who's going to love you? Even if somebody tries to love you, because I'm sure there are people in your life that love you regardless of if you love yourself or not. But if you don't love yourself, you're not going to be open and receptive to their love. And this is what happens with a lot of people. They think that nobody likes them or nobody loves them for who they are. And that's because they're projecting their own belief systems out into the world. And so even when somebody does try to show them that love, they reject it. They push it away because they don't think that it's authentic. They don't feel like they're worthy of that love. But when you learn to love yourself, what you'll find is that there's love all around you. But it starts from within. You have to change your perception of the world. But a lot of times, your perception of the world is determined by your perception of yourself. So you have to learn to love yourself. Now, what is self-love? Self-love is self-acceptance. You, at your core, are the embodiment of love. And that is proven by your very existence. You exist, therefore you are loved. If you were not loved, you would not exist. You are one of a kind. You are the only you in the world, literally. So that is all the reason that you need to accept yourself for who you are. And that's your superpower, your uniqueness, your individuality. That is what will allow you to separate yourself from everyone else and attract the people that belong in your life, the people that are on that same wavelength. But you can only do that if you're on that wavelength yourself. And the only way to do that is by accepting yourself. Now, right along with self-love comes self-care. Okay, confident people take care of themselves. This is something that I personally neglected in my life for a very long time. I didn't take care of myself. Even recently, I wasn't taking care of myself. I wasn't doing the things that I needed to do to nourish myself and fill my own cup. And because of that, I had to take a break from YouTube, and I had to end a 7-month-long relationship in order to make up for that lost time because I wasn't taking care of myself. And it's unfortunate, but you have to do what you have to do. You have to put yourself first and fill your own cup, because if you don't, who's going to do that for you? So some ways in which you can take care of yourself are going to the gym, of course, eating healthy, getting enough rest, meditating, journaling, all of the things that I talk about in my videos. And there's also the physical aspect of self-care. You have to learn to respect your body in such a way that reflects your love for yourself. I love myself, therefore I take care of my body. And one of the best ways to take care of your body is by developing a solid skincare routine. And that brings me to today's sponsor, Tiege Hanley. Now, people always ask me about my skin and what my skincare routine is. How is my skin glowing like this? And I always give them the same answer. I take care of and invest in myself. And the best way to do that, especially in regards to your skin, is by developing a solid skincare routine, and Tiege Hanley has you covered with that. I've been using Tiege Hanley for about 3 months now, and the difference has definitely been very pronounced. You can see it. You can see it in my videos. My skin is almost always glowing. And that's because I use Tiege Hanley very consistently, every single day. I follow their instructions. I know that it can be very intimidating when you're trying skincare out for the first time, especially as a man, because you feel like it's feminine and you have all of these preconceived notions about it. There's nothing feminine about taking care of yourself. In fact, that's one of the most masculine things you can do for yourself, because that projects confident energy. You love yourself and you know that you are worthy of that degree of self-care. Now, to answer your questions about my skin and why it's always glowing, the main reason why my skin is always glowing is because of these 2 specific products in the Tiege Hanley skincare system. That is the 2 moisturizers that they give you. Now, like I said, I understand that skincare can be very intimidating at first, and luckily for you, Tiege Hanley provides detailed instructions for their thorough skincare routine. Literally, if you can read, you can use Tiege Hanley. It's that simple. It's very, very simple. And in addition to that, there's no middleman. So you're getting a very high quality product for a very low price. Now, if you live in the US, which I know that the majority of you do, you get free shipping. And if you're international, there's a small international shipping fee, but it's really worth it. It is worth it. Like I said, you have to invest in yourself. When women look at you, what is the first thing that they see? Your skin. So if you're not taking care of your skin, that's usually a pretty good indication that you're not taking care of yourself, which in turn is usually a pretty good indication that you don't love yourself. And like I said, if you don't love yourself, who's going to love you? Now, if you sign up for a Tiege Hanley membership, you get to save 25% or more on all Tiege Hanley skincare systems. So click the link in the description or the pinned comment for the best possible price and a free gift with your first box. And get started for as low as $25. Like I said, invest in yourself. Now, the next thing that all confident people do is they express their emotions. Now, I understand that as a man, it can be very uncomfortable for you to embrace your emotions, much less express them. But if you're neglecting that part of yourself, you are not loving that part of yourself. You're saying that you are not worthy of expressing your emotions. You're saying that the way that other people perceive you and your emotions means more to you than your actual well-being. And that is not a mindset that is rooted in self-love. You have to be willing to say, I don't care what anyone else thinks. I'm going to express that part of me, because not only is it good for my well-being, but a lot of great things have been built off of emotion. A lot of great music, art, a lot of creative avenues, a lot of creative things are rooted in emotion. Without emotion, the world is dull. There's no color to it. There's no liveliness to it. Emotions are what make us human. And just because you're a man doesn't mean that you're not human. Now, I understand the idea of stoicism. And yes, stoicism is very powerful, but only if it's authentic. And the only way to be authentically stoic is to master your emotions. But the only way to master your emotions is by experiencing them, embracing them. If you never give yourself the chance to experience your emotions, how can you ever expect to master your emotions? You can't skip steps in the self-love process. If you want authentic confidence, it has to be deeply rooted. You have to accept that part of yourself. Now, the next thing that all confident men do is they take chances. This right here will not only show that you have confidence, but it will help you build your confidence up even more, because you're putting yourself in a position where you have to overcome adversity. And when you overcome adversity, overcome obstacles, that will give you lifelong confidence. There's nothing fake about that. That is true confidence. That is you understanding your capabilities. And the only way to do that is to take chances. You have to be willing to take chances on yourself. For example, with me, I dropped out of school. I dropped out of college after one semester. And that right there was the start of my self-love confidence journey, because that put me in a position where I had to sink or swim. I had to figure out what I wanted to do with my life, and eventually I found my purpose, which heavily involves making videos like this one. Now, did that come with a lot of discomfort and adversity? Yes, it did. But that's what gave me the opportunity to grow and become a better version of myself, and to truly find myself throughout that process. I did what I felt was best for me, but it wasn't the safe option by any means. Nobody thought that it was a good idea, but I did. And look where I am right now. But I'm only here because I took that chance. And I've taken chances like that time and time again, and it always pays off. Not only in terms of my outer reality, but in my self-perception. It gives me an enhanced state of confidence. Now, the next thing that all confident people do is they show respect. You see, a lot of people, when they have that fake confidence, what they do is they overcompensate for their lack of confidence, for their negative self-perception, by trying to put other people down. And then they'll try to mask it as constructive criticism or just expressing their opinions. But deep down, they're scared. They're scared of other people and their potential because they have not yet realized their own potential. They refuse to look within and see what they're capable of. They refuse to take chances on themselves and overcome adversity on their paths. So they try to hold other people back as well. They try to put other people down as well. If you're truly confident, you do not have to put anyone down, ever. You don't have to put other people down. Because when you're putting other people down, what you're doing is you're trying to give yourself the perception that you're elevating yourself above others. But instead of actually elevating, you're just putting other people down. It's a false reality. And that right there is a very, very convoluted way of looking at confidence. And this is especially prevalent in young people, but surprisingly, one thing that I've realized is people don't necessarily grow out of this. This is something that adults do as well. They just do it in more subtle ways. They create these hierarchies where they allow themselves to feel like they're better than other people. But their confidence is only relative to the way that other people perceive them. So it's not true confidence. It's fake and it's fragile. If you want true, authentic confidence, you have to love yourself. And when you learn to love yourself, you realize that you never need to put anyone down.